is about to be heard by
I don't get. I'm live on my end.
100,000 people are going to hear you.
I'm going to hit the live button. I'll introduce the thing. Okay. And when the ladies get here, we will pull in the ladies. But both the ladies are late today, so I don't know.
Women being late. They had to put on their tampons.
I'm live on my end, Whick.
And get their hair makeup and
fair enough.
And powder their boobs. What do women do?
What do women do?
What do women even do?
What do women do? Gang, welcome one and all to yet another episode of Whick TV. It's a cross-ideological space where we come together to talk about issues both political and cultural, from the silly to the serious. As you may have ascertained by the people who are in the title versus the people who are on the screen, we're still waiting on a couple guests who share a quality that we may or may not mention at certain points during the show. But they will both be here shortly. One is running late from an appointment. She'll be here. Lilith will be here hopefully soon. And Stardust, I'm not sure where she is, but hopefully she'll be here soon as well. And we'll pull them in. But we got a great show today. We got a lot to talk about. It's another liberal round table, okay, where we discuss all things liberal from a liberal perspective and all that. We don't do any learning here, unlike Soy Pill Show, but we try to have some fun, and we try to kind of see what it is liberals should be doing in order to win elections and influence people. We got a lot of things to talk about. Trump is at war with the Pope, and we're going to discuss that a little bit. And we're seeing a lot in real time, a lot of people choosing politics over their faith. We're going to talk about the Ro Khanna MTG alliance that is forming and what we think about that. Lots to discuss, and we got some great people. I'm going to let them introduce themselves, and hopefully Stardust will get here by the time they're done. Go ahead, Hunter, and then we'll give it to Soypill.
Hey, I'm Hunter Kozak. It seems like there's an echo on my side, so I'm going to be trying to fix that on my end. But thanks for. I don't know. Are we starting with a specific topic? Are we doing an opening? Or are you just saying?
Just introduce. Who are you? Why should we listen to you?
Because I'm a based liberal. Okay. Me, I like progressive shit. I like philosophy. I like linguistics. I like math. I'm getting my degree in linguistic math and philosophy. It's kind of like a tri degree because I'm insane like that. I'm interesting, I guess. I have good takes, and they're better than these two.
Okay. Well, we'll see.
I don't know what I'm used to an opening that's about a topic, so I'm sorry that this wasn't.
Again, this is just as chill.
We're just chilling.
We're just shooting the shit, as they say. Soy Pill, can you do better than that? I hope you can.
I'm the Soy Pill, and I'm better than Hunter. No, I'm the Soy Pill. I do video essays. Allegedly, I'm actually supposed to be editing one right now instead of doing Whick streams. And I also sometimes stream for fun because I like interacting with my community. I'm a liberal progressive, and that's it.
That's it, indeed. Speaking of that's it, Stardust. Hi, welcome to the show. Give her a minute.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Fuck?
Can you hear me?
No. What are we doing?
Can we stop?
This look at me in my outfit, and I'm gonna tell you this. This is too silly. This is too silly, Stardust. What are you doing?
She's silly maxing.
I have no idea what you guys are talking about. Sorry, just 1 second here. Crap. Where is this?
It's like the judge who like accidentally had the cat filter on. He's like, I'm a cat. I can't fix it. What do I do?
You don't understand. This was me naturally for like 6 months. Okay, you have no idea. It's banana mode. Okay, my alter ego, soft banana. Okay, and you don't want to mess with the soft banana. Okay, because I'll fuck you up. So, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Damn.
Whick, are we sure about inviting her? We can still retroactively.
No, we like.
Yeah,
Stardust.
in fact, we were not entirely sure this is Stardust, right? This could just be someone impersonating her. So maybe we should just.
Real ones, no. Real ones, no.
I suppose. Lilith, again, she's going to get out of her appointment soon, and she'll be here as soon as she can. That's what she's letting me know. And until she does, we'll just have to carry on. The show must go on, as they say. So today we are going to be talking about the Trump versus Pope, which is happening. We're
can't with
seeing
this fucking
that
banana,
play
dude.
out live on the
This is
world
gonna get me.
stage. And we're also going to be talking about the Ro Khanna Marjorie Taylor Greene alliance. And let's start there. What are our thoughts on this? Stardust, I'm going to pick on you since you're the late one. Ro Khanna, Marjorie Taylor Greene, should they be working together? What's going on?
Look, I feel bad for Marjorie Taylor Greene. It sucks to be thrown out, but at the same time, you know, she kind of fueled a lot of this really extreme rhetoric. She is somebody who has said horrible things about like the Dems. She's one of these people who was harassing people, knocking on people's doors, harassing people. I don't remember the exact scenario, but I just feel like, and she's a Looney Tune. So really,
the more serious and conviction that she speaks with, and then I look and I glance up at the top screen, and I can't do it. I gotta just ignore. I'm averting my eyes.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Liz Cheney was a more strategic partner. Everybody's criticizing Kamala Harris for teaming up with Liz Cheney. At least with Liz Cheney, we have the same foreign policy goals. Do we even have that with Marjorie Taylor Greene? Do we have anything in common with her? Anyways, that's
as far as I'm
opinion.
aware. As far as I'm aware, the only positions that Marjorie Taylor Greene has flipped on is now she's anti-Trump.
Yeah.
And
big
well,
I think that's it.
Yeah, like we really
anyone know
great,
another...
Oh wow, great poll.
Well, I mean, there are
reasons
why there's reasons why she's anti-Trump. Like, I think the Epstein files
because she got burned, right? Otherwise, if she didn't get burned, she would still be doing her same baloney. And I'm not down with her baloney. At least, again, Liz Cheney, she had the same foreign policy goals as us. I don't know about Marjorie Taylor Greene. I think we can just let her be. Just turn her out. Call the dog pound. Come pick her up. We have a stray over here.
So I know you said this isn't the learning stream, Whick, but is there like a clip of Ro Khanna saying what like his prescriptions are of working with MTG is?
That's a great question.
Let me find one for you.
Right, because like if this is one of those, like, hey, if Marjorie Taylor Greene wants to speak out against Trump, I say we embrace that. But it treads into that dangerous territory. The same probably criticisms that you guys had about like working with Hasan, or if Anna Kasparian, well, she's kind of I think deviated from the left enough that she might be in the coalition of this too.
I've
but like when left people are like, oh, Tucker Carlson, he's got his finger on the pulse, and it's like, okay, let's be a little careful about what we're saying this person is right about.
So it's funny you mentioned that.
You're
because...
the guy who pushes the great replacement theory.
Hold on, banana. We gotta let Hunter get in a little bit. Okay.
Sorry.
I'm just gonna quote what Ro Khanna. I'm seeing a Ro Khanna tweet, and I think this is largely what we're talking about here. So, I don't watch the video. I assume this is about the Iran war. I'm not sure.
Well, if you link it to me, we can watch it. If it's a short clip.
Yeah, let's do that.
Just DM it to me and we'll watch it together, gang. We don't have to guess.
Okay, that sounds good. I just sent it to you.
As long as it's not like
there's a caption. I don't know how long it is. I was mostly going for the caption. But the caption says...
it's 45 seconds. We can watch this.
Hey, while we're bringing it up, why were you late if you didn't have to get ready at all, Star? You literally just had to turn on the banana filter.
No, I am getting ready right now as we speak. I was in the shower. That's why. And Whick messaged me, oh, come backstage. And I was like, oh, shit, I better put some clothes on. So I put some clothes on. And then I apologize for being late, though. But
no, but he makes a point. You don't even need to be wearing clothes. It completely...
You think I'm going to take that risk?
No, valid. But you don't have to get your eyebrows done or your hair, whatever. Anyway, let's watch the clip.
You don't know anything about me. I was blow drying my hair, and I was fully naked. It was terrible.
Okay, let's watch.
Everyone got
the clip up. I'm a very hairy person.
Everyone got the clip up on their end. Everyone good on this? Can we?
Do we deny? Two of you have met me in person. Do we deny that I have a lot of hair?
I didn't clock you as particularly hairy when we met, but
I'm a very hairy person.
Seemed
okay,
like you had the normal amount of human hair.
Welcome to the stream, gang. Lovely liberal stream. Okay,
Why are you
this
salty at
is
me? What did
so
I do to you? I'm
successful.
just a banana.
I guess banana. Let's watch the stream and we'll see what we can do. Okay, I'm gonna start it now and tell me if you guys can hear it.
As a human being and as an American citizen, I am relieved that Donald Trump has accepted a ceasefire and withdrawn.
I cannot hear it. Oh wait, no, I can hear it.
God. Oh my God. This fucking banana.
We good?
Sorry.
I could hear it just fine.
But let's be clear. This did not happen because of Congress, which barely made a whimper. This happened because of the force of the American people. Not just progressives and liberals, but conservatives like Tucker Carlson, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and even Ann Coulter spoke out against the horror of threatening genocide against another people. This tells me one thing. The only thing that will save this country, the only thing that will save our democracy is a broad populist social movement. Anti-Epstein class, anti-war, pro-working.
I don't know.
Funny I should mention Tucker Carlson, I guess. Jesus. Like that is like treading into the dangerous populism where it's like the only thing that can stop it is we have to work together with these people who literally want to destroy us. Like the only thing. I don't like that.
Yeah, I think there is a way to work with people like MTG or even Tucker Carlson. And just hear me out for a sec. I don't like this. I feel like this is treading on some pretty dangerous waters where you're saying we need a coalition. I think if you want to say, look, even I mean, I wouldn't say, we could work on the language a little bit, but you could say even psychos like Tucker Carlson agree that this is a bad idea. That shows how far gone we've been. How far gone we are. I think that that's a fine message. I also think that it's fine to even here's the thing. Stardust said that, everyone was so critical of the Liz Cheney Kamala coalition. I agree with her, but I also I think that was a good thing. I think it makes a lot of sense if we want to win an election to try to bring over more, neoconservatives who are pretty like the Never Trumper sides, appealing to them, bringing them into our tent, but recognizing that we're not going to build policies for them. That like we're still going to stand with who we are. I don't have an issue with that. I actually find that pretty politically feasible and like a good idea.
Yeah, it's the same like we've been having these like Hasan conversations, and I'm like, I'm never gonna say don't work with these people if you think they can materially help, but that you have to be very careful. You have to point out to your parties and your influences, say, hey, this is what this person actually believes. Be careful of that, and then say like, hey, if you're serious, Tucker Carlson, about helping me stop this war, do this thing that like is my proposal, give this thing money, go work with this coalition, use this argument. And if you're going to go around and being like, we should stop the war because the Jews, then like, yeah, you can't say, well, we arrived at the same conclusion, so we'll work together. That's not enough.
100% agree. I mean,
if I can, I agree with working with Liz Cheney because I think again, neoconservatives, like we generally have at least foreign policy in common with them. But
bro, I can't with the jiggle physics on the fucking peel, dude.
What I will say is I'm not really into bringing horseshoe people over here. So if Tucker Carlson has gone so...
Hold on, Stardust. What is a horseshoe people?
So a horseshoe person, for example, Tucker Carlson has gone so far off the fucking spectrum that he's aligning with us thinking that the Trump administration was irresponsible with their intervention in Iran. But he's also partly doing it because of other reasons. I don't know that I really want to work with him. This is a guy who, one of his, he literally parrots like white supremacist talking points on his stream. He pushes the Great Replacement. I'm not really down with partnering with somebody like that. He's a horseshoe person. He's okay. He's aligning with Anna Kasparian sometimes on things. I don't want to work with Anna Kasparian either. I just think that's like we're potentially pushing people to be influenced by these really nasty things. So I think we have to be careful with who we partner with.
Yeah, I guess this is to Hunter, right? Because you mentioned like you aren't necessarily against working with people like Tucker, people like Marjorie Taylor Greene. But
it really depends. But yeah, go ahead.
Specific contests, right? I guess in this context, I just don't know what we get. from working.
I
with
agree.
Marjorie Taylor
Hold
Greene?
on.
What does she bring? Well, let me just ask. She's got one of the lowest approval ratings across the board of any politician. She's what does she bring to the table? She's not particularly adept at policy. She's not really smart.
I agree with all
she's
this.
stupid.
It's true.
I
So
agree with all
what are
this,
we
and
getting out of this?
I agree with all this, and I think I made the case for, if you want to build an ad, or even say like even do an ad with her and go, even someone as crazy as Marjorie Taylor Greene disagrees with her. That's how far Trump has gone, that he's removing all of the loyalists in his base. I think that could be rhetorically helpful. I don't think MTG would want to do that ad, but if you could, I think that's fine. That's fine rhetoric there to say that Trump has excised all of his base so much so that even his loyalists have realized who he is.
Remember, like Ro Khanna didn't just say this,
and that's why I'm against Ro Khanna. I'm against the tweet.
Yeah, he went on a podcast with her, and they had like this. I don't know if it's an hour or 2 hour long podcast session where they basically were like Red Brown alliancing it up. It was pretty crazy.
I
hear
that.
Unfortunately, to watch the whole thing, right? But
I hear that, and I think two things. I think two things are irresponsible. The first is saying that we need an anti-Epstein class, anti-war, pro-working class coalition. That is not a coalition at all. That's
not enough to build a party on. That's okay. Well, you think bad things that I think are bad. Like, okay, cool. Let's ignore the fact that you want to do the great replacement theory rhetoric, right? Like you can't base that. Like that's like saying the most third party
participated in January 6th, the overthrowing of the government. That to me is a pretty big non-starter. That's a fucking no-go for me. That I have a real problem with, and also that I don't have a problem necessarily that he was on a podcast with Marjorie Taylor Greene for 2 hours, but I do have a problem with him not confronting her at any point, and recognizing, no, wait, hold on, we do stand in opposition on 95% of issues. We are here for that 5%. And like, you are not an ally to me really ever, except for this one narrow case with the Epstein files.
Yeah.
That to me, both of those things are irresponsible, and I'm against Ro Khanna for that.
You had some thoughts, Soy Pill, you were trying to get in there?
No, he said it basically the same. I mean, like when you're going to not take the time to add these caveats, like it's not like I don't like the whole like every time you talk about this you have to condemn this and this and this, but if you are going on a platform and working with this person as like almost like a partner and having like a friendly, cordial conversation, you have to make it clear to both your audience and to their audience that you are not aligned on those things. Because if you don't, this is like the fear that you guys were talking to me about with the Hasan stuff. It's like you're going to bleed off some portion of your influence to them. And you need to do that as little as possible if you acknowledge that their mission is antithetical to yours for most things.
Or you're going to alienate your own base. Right,
yeah,
like I feel a little alienated looking at it. I'm like, are you like? I really like Ro Khanna.
Well, and
I think
that's
he's
the thing.
one of the...
Yeah, me too. And Hunter, you said the Liz Cheney thing, like, oh, I kind of agreed with that. We should be pulling over the Republicans, but that, in the same way, I think was a mistake because rather than that should have been, hey, even Dick Cheney, even the warmonger from the 2000s that you guys hate, can see that Trump is a threat. That should be enough for you to vote against him, trying to appeal to Republicans, not, hey, here we are together, like, this is our, like, there's ways you present this, and I think like that is also a way that failed. Well, I actually don't know what the polling was, but I know a lot of people who are alienated by that, who grew up during the Bush years, who grew up and said, hey, Dick Cheney's an evil, mass murderer, and then you're here being buddy-buddy with him. That made them apathetic to vote for Kamala. So you have to be very careful about the rhetoric surrounding this. That doesn't mean you can't accept the help. That doesn't mean you can't do something together. It means you cannot treat this like it's just any other, oh, let's shake hands and we'll fight tomorrow. It's like, no, you can't stop fighting these people.
I hear this, and
but
I also think
just a housekeeping thing. Lilith says she's going to be here 9 minutes. The Uber says 9 minutes, and she's running.
She's going to your house?
Not to here, no, but
to
her house.
Or her house.
An appointment of some sort.
I assume.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm just looking at Marjorie Taylor Greene's history here. Like, she has supported multiple conspiracy theories. Like I feel like
she
there's a clear
harassed
difference.
David Hogg.
Yeah, David Hogg.
Yeah,
like,
I feel
the...
like she. I
Hold
feel
on,
like
let's start.
she
Yeah,
has.
go ahead.
Yeah, so I feel like there is a significant difference between Marjorie Taylor Greene and Liz Cheney, right? It's not Kamala Harris didn't go campaigning with Dick Cheney, right? She went with Liz Cheney. And sure, yeah, people have the association because of the family, but it is a different person.
It
Secondly,
was
I do
Hitler
think that there's a
Jr., guys.
significant.
It's fine.
Okay,
I agree with
Hitler
Soypil
Jr.
here.
Okay.
She largely condoned all of her father's foreign policy arguments, and this does go to a bigger
Okay,
point.
but
that
wait a minute, I'm not finished. I'm
Well,
not finished.
let's start us.
Sorry. Yeah, fair enough. Go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, so I still think that there's a significant difference because this is somebody like Marjorie Taylor Greene is supporting like conspiracy theories about like 9/11, right? Like that's pretty fucking wild. She's like saying that Ruth Bader Ginsburg back in like 2019 was replaced with like a body double. Like I don't know, man. Like I feel like this is somebody who's a little bit too off the deep end for us to be partnering with.
Yeah,
Like,
you didn't even
at
mention
least-
the Jewish
yeah, if you're
space
gonna-
lasers.
No, I already mentioned the Jewish space
Oh, you did? Maybe I
lasers
missed that.
earlier.
I just wanted you to mention it again. Sorry.
It's
She
a fun
said
thing
that
to mention.
she said
because
that
it's a crazy thing to
2019
say, but-
the Christchurch mosque shooting, she said were a false flag. Like that was a massacre, you know? Like I feel like there's still a huge difference between partnering with Marjorie Taylor Greene and Liz Cheney, who's at least somewhat in reality.
I hear this.
Yeah, there are degrees to this, of course.
I will say that, you know, I don't know. Like I hear what you're saying, that at least she's in reality, but I don't know if that is the most important factor, because, you know, you're saying that like at least we agree on foreign policy takes with Liz Cheney. Sure, now, right? Like sure, I
Okay,
think
but
she's
we're
largely
at least we're living in the same
Hold on.
reality where like she's not pushing
No,
like
no,
the
I hear you.
election
Could I-
stuff.
Hunter,
for
you're
sure.
kind of like
Sorry.
looking at the utility of it, right? Like if
Yeah,
if
yeah,
Donald
'cause-
Trump
'cause-
was like, there are demons, and the only way to purge demons is to give everyone universal health care, would you accept the help? The answer is probably yeah, but you just have to
Yeah.
be very obviously telling everyone, hey,
I would
our
be
president is fucking
terrified of the
insane,
next thing he was going to
but
do.
we can
for
weaponize
sure.
his insanity, right?
Right.
Like, you know?
Yeah.
Well, no,
And-
I'm just really curious. Would everyone accept? I don't know if I would, right? Because there's some implications there for what else he would do.
Right.
that
Well,
I'd be
I
like,
and yeah, you
"Oh,
oppose
no,
the
no,
bad
no."
things.
I'm going to be terrified of.
Yeah, it'd be terrifying. A terrifying
Of course,
thing.
of course. But the big thing that I think I have, and now that now sort of I'm talking to Soypil, maybe I'm changing my mind on the Liz Cheney thing,
Uh-oh.
because no, in favor of you,
Oh,
like
hell
that. Yeah.
So it feels like, oh, girl.
How dare
everybody-
anyone disagree with my
Because-
objectively correct opinion?
Because I don't know, like the fact that Liz Cheney is standing by you, where it's like, hey, we're both in favor of supporting Ukraine during in the Russia-Ukraine war. I think that almost signals to a lot of voters that they should be more skeptical of the support for Ukraine, because Liz Cheney is behind it, and what else has she been behind foreign policy wise? Kind of a bunch of clusterfucks. So I do think that aligning yourself with the enemy, and I say the enemy in quotes, I guess, but like not really in quotes. Aligning yourself with them kind of shows that you have the same intention with them. And I don't know. I'm a little bit on both sides on this. I don't know
real
if
quick,
I have
just
a
straight
strong
up,
opinion.
because someone in my chat's asking Wick, it's like, what are we getting out of this? And like, I imagine that what they see as the potential benefit of a Liz Cheney, of a Dick Cheney, of an MTG, of even a Tucker Carlson, is that these people are incredibly influential, and if you can influence even like 10 to 20% of their audience to be pro what you're against, right? Like, hey, now 20% of the MTG audience is split off, and they're calling out Trump for his Epstein crap, and they may not vote for him. Like, this is super useful if we were able to do that, even if it's for a bad reason.
Sure.
The danger is
I
that they
understand
can
that.
then... No, I know you do. I'm explaining this to my chat,
Oh, fair enough.
who's asking. And so it's like, why would you not try to do this? Well, because it could be dangerous, because they could then acquire people from your audience and make them crazy radicals and bring them into great replacement theory rhetoric, and that's why you have to be so careful about it. But that doesn't mean that they don't have use.
Yeah, it's. I think I'm largely in agreement with almost everyone here when I say that it depends how you do it.
Mhm.
I don't think that there is anyone. I'm sure if you give me some extreme hypothetical,
Hitler.
like Hitler's zombie ghost that we raised from the dead, right? Then okay, fair enough, right? But even Marjorie Taylor Greene, I can see an argument for, as you said, various ways of engaging with her that might be some use, but my skepticism comes both from how Ro Khanna did it, also from the fact that, again, she has almost no audience now, right?
Yeah,
Like,
Does
I
she
would
really
say
not have any?
what benefit
well, look at
like
her
she
approval
was part of
ratings
it.
and numbers and things
Yeah,
like
I don't
that.
know
what
who
was her
supports her right now.
okay,
but yeah, who is
her
her base?
supporters, her base was Donald Trump. The Donald Trump base is like basically a cult. We all know that. And as soon as she went against Donald Trump, like she lost the vast majority of her base. Like, what is the point? What are we actually gaining from partnering with this lady who thinks that a mass shooting was a false flag?
Could I throw out an idea? And this is mostly coming from something that happened today. I was just on my campus today, and there were a couple people that I was talking to, and they were like pretty firm Trump supporters who were very, very, very disaffected at this moment. Like they really hate Trump for the Epstein files. They really hate Trump for the Iran war. They hate him for his depiction of Jesus and like his fight with the popes or the Pope, and like kind of dumb reasons, honestly, when you ask them. Like the Jesus thing really did upset them more than the other things, but they are disaffected from Trump. And maybe it is possible that that is who MTG's base is disaffected Trump voters who feel like they've been taken in by a fraud. And if we could sweep them up as voters, hell yeah. I am obviously worried about the implications of that, though. Like I'm not going in.
Another thing that I think we have to kind of, at least for me, it does matter. We didn't go to Liz Cheney. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but Liz Cheney, since January 6th, right? She has been a never Trumper, right? That really kind of turned her off of Trump for obvious reasons, and she really went hard in the paint for years against him, right?
Did you say MTG?
No, Liz Cheney. If I said
Liz
Oh,
Cheney.
I might have misheard.
If
Okay,
if
sorry.
I said MTG, I misspoke.
I got confused. Yeah,
Liz
you're
Cheney.
good. Go ahead.
And I think that matters, right? That fact, to me at least, matters. It shows that she's willing to take that hit when she did not need to take that hit, right? It's not that she was cast out by her people. She chose to leave in that instance. And I think that matters. I don't know if that's the same with Marjorie Taylor Greene. I guess, for what it's worth, I trust Liz Cheney more than I trust Marjorie Taylor Greene, which isn't a lot. Okay, it's still not a ton.
I agree with you. Yeah, MTG is about as bottom of the barrel as I could get.
And just one more thing. Lilith just arrived. Hopefully she figures out how to go backstage, and I can drag her in a second. I'll give her a role and everything. So, Lil, if you're listening, just jump backstage. Pull you in. It's frustrating to me to see a lot of the people who were weeping and wailing and gnashing their teeth that we worked with Liz Cheney.
You're such a Mormon.
Weeping and wailing and gnashing their teeth when we worked with Liz Cheney, right?
Jesus
And
Christ.
then
Wick, it just occurred to me that if Star is having like a heart attack, we would not know right now. And the banana has lost its face. Okay, you're back.
But they're eerily silent or suddenly very okay with working with Marjorie Taylor Greene. And I'm struggling to understand why you would be against one, but not the other in this case.
That's true. I as much as I was like shitting on the Liz Cheney thing, I am a little upset. All the people dogpiling Kamala for decision, which I also think was not a great one, but then being like, and now we can reach out to people that are like 10 times crazier than Liz Cheney. And I'm like, fuck you. You don't get to flip this. Like, I think
I 100% agree that if you're critical of working with Liz Cheney, but you are cool with MTG, you're too far gone.
It's incredibly hypocritical.
What the hell?
Incredibly.
I think what was Ilana Maher's like exact statement on this? Like, it actually kind of upset me, if I remember. I read it a few days ago.
Oh my god, that was actually very upsetting.
On which case? On the Kamala case or the Marjorie Taylor Greene case?
I think it was MTG. What did she say? She said...
Yeah, I'm trying to find it myself.
Okay. In an interview this week, with Pod Save America, Omar threw her support behind vocal MAGA personalities like Marjorie Taylor Greene turning on the president. I'm trying to find the exact
Through
quote.
her
Yeah, so she says,
support,
as
if that's
Americans,
true,
it's really
fuck.
Here we go.
important
He's got
for
it. He's got
us
it.
to work together for the preservation of everything that is good in our country and to support leaders that we can trust to safeguard what is good for our country, which is fine. Then she said, Green are discovering that Trump really never had any principles outside of uplifting his ego. I think we should give them credit for that. The fact that they've had this wake-up call to finally see this con man, this corrupt, chaotic man for what he is, the fact that they understand that he really never had any principles outside of uplifting his ego. I think it's important for us to put our arms around and say, yes, then now let's figure out how do we save our country from the disaster that this man is creating. So, like, the sentiment is fine, but, like, that's what Kamala was doing with Liz Cheney, which is
that's
a
fully defensible statement that I might even agree with, depending on the day or depending on the context.
Yeah,
but the fact that you were so
agree
against Liz Cheney is fucking crazy.
Yeah, but it's like, well, let's embrace
she
MTG.
called Liz Cheney synonymous with war, right? Saying it was a huge misstep. There were accusations of, again, it's just insane, right? The double standard on display. It makes me trust Ilhan Omar less. And I had no real strong opinions on Ilhan Omar either way. But when I see you being okay with with Marjorie Taylor Greene and then still sticking to your guns on the Liz Cheney stuff, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, I'll be real. I think I had immense respect for Ilhan Omar, especially after she got assaulted by that person, and she just like stuck it out. And she was like, somebody like spit on her or whatever, and she just stuck it out. And then people are asking, oh, why didn't you go like, seek help or whatever? And she's like, I care about my dignity, like way more than whatever. Anyways, like, I had immense respect for her for that, but then I'm like, aren't you like lowering your dignity if you're like going to praise this person who has had no morals, has had no qualms about like just like stroking the ego of this absolutely self-centered bumbling fuck idiot, like just because he's in power, like I don't know, like it feels like it's such a juxtaposition of what I thought I saw, so yeah.
$10 from Will from Texas to say this. In 2006, the anti-war coalition included right-wingers like Dan Savage and younger Tucker Carlson. The alliance with the left didn't screw the party. It helped the Dems with indies and moderates with plus 14% turnout over 02.
It's hard to say. It's hard to say because there is an argument.
Just another housekeeping thing. Lilith, jump backstage. It's at the top of the server. The top of the server. You click the link. I'll pull you in, okay?
Yeah, it's hard to attribute the success of 2006 and say that was
because of that,
Tucker
exactly.
Carlson and right wingers who were also anti-war. I think it's because the war was really unpopular. And we have now seen years of its effects, and yeah,
they're going to be against whichever party invoked that. But yeah, I was just about to say that essentially, even if we don't get any of that support from MTG, if we try to purity test the left a little bit and take out all the conspiracy theorists who are working with us, I still think that a lot of the currently disaffected Trump voters who are completely at odds with our party, completely at odds with our messaging, might still vote or will definitely stop voting for Republicans, and we can get whatever that like plus 16 numbers are with or without their support. That is possible.
Sure.
I don't
$10 from Pondering Politics.
It's gonna be about the fucking Star Wars thing. Shut
goddamn. You're a prophet, okay? Important debate between Hunter and Soy Pill. Why is Hunter wrong about the best sequel, The Rise of Skywalker?
Me and Soy Pill, whatever. Should I interact with that? I can ignore that if you want.
You have to.
I have to take on
that.
Wait,
actually, I don't really understand I need to understand the context.
No,
can you explain it
Soy
fully?
Pill, here's the thing. You're the only person who I've ever said Josiah's opinion about, and then you're like, what's the problem with that?
No. I spoke with him briefly on like a Live and Learn about it, and I actually agree with him. It's the most entertaining and least bad of the sequels, which is like the shiniest dog turd. Like it doesn't.
I know
really
you keep
mean
saying
much.
that. I know you keep saying that. I don't think I've ever walked out of a movie I think it's the worst movie I may have ever seen in my life.
You
Like,
need to watch more movies
genuinely-
then. Jesus Christ.
No. Like,
guys are
well,
talking about
according to
Star
my
Wars,
expectations, yes. According to my expectations, because I'm the one guy in the world who really stands by The Last Jedi. I think it's a good movie. Then I was excited for 9, and it was maybe it's by far the worst Star
Okay.
Wars.
Imagine
Okay.
being
Anyway, we
excited
can
for
move
a
on.
sequel after
Enough.
the
We're
Just
seventh.
gonna-
get the hell out of here.
Hold on.
I have a hot take.
Before you give it, Stardust. Before you give it, I want to
Okay.
introduce the newest member of the Whick TV
Oh,
panel,
hi.
Lilith. Please tell people who you are and introduce yourself. Go ahead.
Are you in a nightclub right now?
Hello.
She's a little new to streaming, guys, or maybe
Where's
she's
that-
not.
no,
I don't
where's
know.
that? No, she's been streaming a while.
All right.
Can you hear us? Hello? Oh no, gang. We can hear you.
Or we can't hear
Release
you, but we can
background
hear your
music.
music.
What the hell?
Oh, can you hear us?
Oh, hello.
Hi.
I'm not even playing any music. That's weird. All right. That is weird. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay.
You're live, by the way. People can.
Hello. Sorry about that. I hope you're all doing well. I'm Lilith Lovett, and I guess introducing myself. I guess I've done. I don't know if people are aware of Pubcast with Dev. I'm sure you've had short
Yeah.
film on before, right?
Yeah, we've had on a time or two. We know who he is. Dev's a good
Yeah.
guy.
I've done Pubcast with him, and before that, it was Dumping with Scrump. Before he had his unfortunate fallout with Scrump Monkey, but some people might know me from there, and some people might know me from my not safe for work content, and some people might know me for my Twitter hot takes. But if you don't know me at all, I'm just some person with a voice, and I play video games. And I guess okay.
Nah, it's okay.
I
Well,
didn't think too much on the introduction. I literally just returned home.
No, welcome home.
You know, we played 2 games together, Lilith. We played that submarine game and then the other one with the zombies.
yeah.
So
I
yeah,
remember Stardust. That was fun.
yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Well, welcome to the show. We're going to be talking today with Lilith about politics in America, her hot takes. You may get a few here, and what she thinks.
Perhaps.
I guess. Oh, go ahead, please.
I just said perhaps, as in the Family Guy reference.
Perhaps. $5 from Pondering Politics, and I'm supposed to ask you this directly. Hunter.
Stop.
Hunter, would you say The Rise of
Mhm.
Skywalker was the worst thing you've ever seen?
Yes, I think so. I think
How?
so. I do. Wait, hold on. I do think that there's not even like a tepid enjoyment out of it. Like, I think I felt my childhood crumbling. Like, if I watched, like, you know, the known shitty movies, you know, like The Room or Goblin, was it Goblins 2, I think is the name.
Troll 2.
Just those like Troll 2. Thank you, Troll 2. At least there's like tepid enjoyment where I'm still enjoying it. And then I watch the terrible movies. I'm like, well, at least I can turn this off. But I felt committed to it because it was Star Wars, and I genuinely could not believe the choices that they made. I genuinely was like, Did you know that they released they showed that Palpatine was returning in a Fortnite
Josiah,
event?
$5
Okay,
interruption super chat from
turn this down for
Josiah. Tell
Oh, I've heard
Hunter
that.
he didn't say worst movie he's ever seen. Josiah said worst thing, and it went right over your head.
Maybe.
Is it
Maybe
the
it
worst
is the
thing
worst
you've
thing.
ever seen?
Maybe.
Can I just say?
Okay,
So
to be clear,
every time I've
Hunter,
watched-
just
Okay.
given everything
Oh,
that's
shut
happened
the
in the
fuck
last year, is it the worst thing you've ever seen?
Worse than genocide?
Yeah, you know what? It is. It is
Wow.
Soypill.
Oh,
The Rise of
wow.
Fair
Skywalker is
enough.
worse.
Is worse than okay.
Is
Okay.
worse than the.
Trying to say something. Let's start us getting. Then I want to get us back on the politics and enough from whatever
Yeah,
you're
Josiah.
distracted from. So go
Well,
ahead.
we're talking about
Anytime
politics adjacently.
Go ahead.
anytime
Sparta.
I've tried to watch Star Wars, right? Anytime I've tried to watch it, I've fallen asleep. So like
It's a terrible
like
take.
literally every single time I've tried to watch Star Wars, I've fallen asleep. So I think like maybe it's just a little too boring. Like I don't know what everybody is so like freaking out about, you know?
are
It's, pretty
entertained.
good.
You are stimmed by a banana VTube model. So what are you even talking about? You could watch an hour.
I'm
of
not the one
keys.
stimmed by it. You guys are the ones being
I
stimmed by it.
have
Every
to
time
keep
I
looking
talk,
away.
you deafen.
Because
Why do you
I keep
keep looking
laughing.
away?
It's so funny. It's so funny.
Okay, so that sounds like you're the one who's being stimmed by it. It's not me. I'm
That's
the one
fair.
who
You got
chose
me.
it because
I'm
it
a little stimmed.
This
aligns
isn't
with
that
me.
kind of show. This isn't that kind of show. Okay, we're not. I want to get a. So we're talking about Ro Khanna and Marjorie Taylor Greene. Have you seen the tweets Ro Khanna's been making, kind of cozying up to Marjorie Taylor Greene? Have you seen any of those, Miss Lilith?
I've not seen the ones made by Ro Khanna, but I have seen the ones made by, at least statements made by Ilhan Omar,
Okay.
where she was talking about like, oh, we should welcome Marjorie Taylor Greene, and let me look into more because I know I just reacted to it recently.
Sure. Are you a Marjorie Taylor Greene enjoyer? Are you okay with her in the tent?
Unfortunately, I am not one of those people advocating for, or perhaps fortunately, I'm not too keen on welcoming her into the big tent at the moment. Especially seeing as she hasn't really. I don't know. I do understand where some people might be coming from, where it's like, oh, we need to get some of these disillusioned MAGA types, but has Marjorie Taylor Greene really changed that much aside from? Because right now the impression I'm getting is that she is a rat fleeing a sinking ship. At least that's the impression I've been getting, because like she hasn't really made any statements denouncing some of the stuff she said about Ukraine, about her various different positions that many of us viewing or talking here would probably find
No, she hasn't
a lot of
changed
issues
at
with.
all. She has
Yeah.
only changed her allegiance, which is Trump no longer supports my populist, anti establishment movement because he's part of the Epstein class or whatever. So like really her views haven't changed at all.
And he yelled at me once on the phone. So, I
yes.
do think
He
personal
was mean
grudge.
to me, of course.
I don't want to yeah, sure there might be like a financial or political incentive, but I also think that, I do think that a lot of these MAGA types have an insane ego that is should not be underscored.
Well, they're basically men children, like at this point. Because like they have, I don't know, for all their talk about, oh, the left are liberals. The left are a bunch of snowflakes. They're so sensitive. Want to cancel everybody. Meanwhile, they have the most ice thin, paper thin egos available. Like
Insane. It's insane. I guess just so we can understand you more, do you consider yourself a liberal? Why or why not?
I might be getting there at the moment.
You might be getting there. Well, what's holding you back? What's keeping you from being fully hard R liberal? Okay, fully lib pilled. Okay.
Hard R.
Yeah, hard R liberal.
Oh my.
Unapologetic.
A liberal there, huh? Well, I guess it's just it might just be my filthy, disgusting, fan-sitting nature. Where I'm not too comfortable with committing to any type of label just yet, because the last time I committed to a label Which cough cough libertarian. They turned out to be a bunch of MAGA tards.
Well, yeah,
And
but
Yeah,
that's
that
like saying
drama
I
was
can't
crazy, by the way.
I can't commit to an ideology because last time I committed to one, it was the stupid one. I mean, yeah, if you
yeah, I know. I
Look,
committed
look,
to
I
a
can't
very
commit to
stupid
eating food
one.
because last time I tried poison.
True.
Okay.
I know. So it's like, I don't know. I will have
Well,
to give it
there
a
was
big, some big think
there
before I'm willing to commit just yet.
No, you're fine.
To
No,
be
you're fine.
fair, to be fair to Lilith, there was a huge amount of drama with like the Libertarian Party. I'm pretty sure, because a whole bunch of them were like, "Oh,
When?
we should align with Trump. He'll put like the most recent election, and they were like, oh, we should align with Trump. That he'll put like a libertarian in office, blah blah blah." And so they got a whole bunch of them to vote for Trump, and that didn't
Oh, that was
happen. And then
good.
a whole bunch of other libertarians were really fucking pissed about it, because they were like, "What the fuck is wrong with you guys? This is like the most anti-libertarian candidate there is. What do you mean he'll put like a libertarian in office? Who did he put it?" And like some people were saying like RFK Jr. is the one, but I don't know about that. So,
RFK. Yes.
RFK.
Yeah, but it's
Oh,
also
Guy
like
who cut off a penis off of a raccoon, a dead raccoon,
yes. I
Oh,
was just
Jesus.
reading
and goes
about
bathing
that.
in the Potomac River. This dude is like a walking fucking petri dish of every contagious disease possible. Like, no
So he's
wonder.
not a libertarian? I'm confused.
Well, to be
I
clear,
don't know.
RFK
Go ahead.
embraces some libertarian, like, ethos because he's like, hey, hands off my body, don't put vaccines if I don't want them.
Yeah.
Like, I understand why they might
Yeah,
align
let me
with
just
him.
put a
But
bunch of.
Oh no, it's
disease-
fucking
yeah, okay.
scary and dangerous. But like the idea, if you ever looked at Trump, who is cracking down on free speech, who is absolutely doing all of these like anti-freedom, pro-government in your life policies, would ever be sympathetic to any libertarian ideology, which is already stupid, by the way, is also stupid.
Yeah.
And anyone who is duped at that is dumb. No offense, Lilith. But also.
Oh yeah, no, it was very funny drama though. It was very funny drama. But,
But,
Look,
finish.
I
Hold on,
just
finish up.
real quick,
enjoy-
Lilith, you are like left leaning, right? Like, correct
I
me if I'm
very
wrong.
much
You're like
am left leaning.
LGBT community, like socially progressive for the most part. I remember we've interacted on Twitter a couple times before I got permits. So,
Yeah, what happened? We don't have to get into it right now, but
classic Charlie Kirk joke.
So, what threw me into the libertarian ideology is mainly, I guess, I don't really find myself falling strictly into the Democrat liberal side, and for the longest part, the main reason for that is on the gun issue. I don't believe in gun control. I still very much don't broadly believe in gun control for the most part.
Like at all.
Well, maybe some people shouldn't have guns. Maybe we shouldn't have. Make sure we shouldn't have like.
What about like the people with
Would
like
you let Stardust have a gun?
history? People with a history of domestic violence. That's where I would draw the line, right? Like these people are the types of people who are most likely to turn their gun on their families and on themselves, right? Like that's like.
I can definitely see that perspective, and that's why I'm not like an ultra hardliner, even back then. And
like, I think if somebody has a history of domestic violence, period.
Hold on, I want to hear from Lilith real quick.
Sorry,
you were explaining. Go ahead.
Oh no, you're fine. But I was just explaining like I didn't like the gun part was a big attention, and also the drug thing also is like I don't really believe in drug control much. I believe like most everything should be available in
you're
warning labels.
Anti-war on drugs, basically.
Anti-war on drugs, yeah.
Yeah.
And I also believed
go
in
ahead.
like the non-aggression principle, and I mean I still do generally for the most part. It's just those are like the big three reasons why I'm like the whole socially liberal and economically conservative part. I mean, at least at the time. I mean, right now I'm more understanding why we need social nets, why we need like healthcare and like all this shit with like what corporations can and will do to you if there isn't at least some something to rein them in, you know.
It's the classic libertarian
yeah.
discovers why everything exists and stops being a libertarian, pipeline. We love to see it.
True.
Yes.
I understand why institutions are like, oh shit, maybe we should work together as a society. But I have a question though. You said your three things were gun control, drugs, and the third was NAP, right?
Yeah.
Or okay.
Non-aggression.
No, yeah. Well, the I hear you on the guns for sure. I don't think that that's like a core issue of Democrats at all. I think that they haven't really been running on that policy for quite a minute. I think like the main focus, at least, usually what I used to, what was it, like 20 during the primaries in 2020, the like I think the big topic was universal healthcare. Like that's what Dems are mostly running on. But then if you look on a citywide issue, they're legalizing weed is like a huge blue versus red split. I mean, some Republican states are doing it as well, but I don't know if there's like a Democratic state that hasn't legalized weed. So when you say end the drug war, like I am a little confused why that would prohibit you from joining the Democratic Party, because that feels like a Democratic staple at this point, honestly.
Well, it's just something that the libertarians were more focused on. I mean, I don't think most Democrats would go about advocating abolishing all drug laws, for example.
Yeah, but I don't think any political party would do that.
Yeah,
No,
it's like which party
unless,
is
like,
seriously
yeah,
getting you
it's
closer
like,
to
yeah.
your ideals, and I there's like literally nothing on the right wing side I think is bringing you.
Oh
close
no!
to
Right,
that,
right
except for
now
maybe
I
tax
vote
breaks.
blue down the ballot. At like
Okay, base, we take those.
You know what we call those?
Yeah.
We call those Democrats.
Well,
I mean, and also, I'll just say, like, for the most, you'll find plenty of Democrats who probably will align with you on the gun issue. There's a decent amount, so it's not like all liberals, all Democrats want to take away all your guns. In fact, I would say probably most don't. Most don't really, want to do that. There's the people just want like gun laws for certain things, right? So.
Oh no, I get that. That's why.
Yeah, I guess I'm just
getting
curious to kind of to go out and kind of broaden this discussion a little bit. There's a lot going on. What do you think that Democrats are doing right now, and what do you think that they're doing wrong? I'm just really curious.
Oh, sorry, I was reading the chat. Could you repeat that? Sorry.
What do you think, in your opinion, are Democrats doing correctly, and what are they doing incorrectly right now? I'm just really curious from someone who's outside, who doesn't consider themselves a Democrat.
Thank you, Ben. I hate you. I hate you so much. And the banana's gone now, so I guess you're leaving after dropping 100. Thank you, buddy.
That is that they are the only real viable opposition towards the MAGA fascism, and this wave of ultra right nonsense that's just been permeating our political landscape as of late. And the libertarians aren't a serious opposition, especially given that at least half of them thought that Trump was going to be slash their guy, and who was going to bring about a libertarian candidate, which I'm sure you guys all realize how laughable that is. And
Oh, it is. Yes.
It's even funnier today. It's and certainly not the Green Party, the fucking Russian aligned Joe Stein, fucking. We basically hate America on everything.
I got you.
Yeah. Who's left? Basically, only the Democrats, and my only problem with them is that some of them are not fighting back hard enough. They are just, like, for example, today there was like we had in Congress we failed by one vote because one Democrat, and of course it's just one Democrat. I can't fault the entire party that much, but it's just, but it harkens back to like the government shutdown, for example, where it's like there was like a camp that was just ready to fold when they should have just stuck by it and make Trump hurt with the whole government shutdown. And I know some people would find that controversial, but I feel like them bending the knee and voting with the Republicans to end the shutdown on the Republicans' term was a major sign of weakness. And my problem with the Democrats in that sense would just be there is a contingent of basically just soft Republicans, for
Soft
lack of better
Republicans.
Republicans, for lack of better words. I mean, I could have meaner words, but who just will fall in line when push comes to shove, you know?
I get you.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
and I'll give my perspective because you did mention the vote to end the Iran war that was failed by just one Democrat. I hear this criticism and I see it's kind of hard to escape an administration that doesn't have this criticism. You know, we also have Fetterman, we had Manchin, we had Sinema,
Fetterman,
we
yes.
we have, and I think the way that I look at this is if one out of how much is it, like 100 or 200 1 out of 200 Democrats voted against the Iran war. What I'm seeing is that we need more Democrats, right? Like so that one person doesn't matter, if that makes sense. Like if
I
we had an
agree
overwhelming.
entirely.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
It seems like your sticking point is a label, but if you continue to vote and advocate for liberal policies, I don't know if I really care about a label, you know?
Yeah, no,
Like,
my whole thing is label is kind of stupid, and
totally, that's fine.
Changing my
if people
Facebook status
consider
to
me a
"It's
liberal, then
complicated."
I'm a
All
liberal.
right.
If people want to consider me a libertarian, one of the good ones, then I guess I'm a libertarian. But I don't
Look,
really.
You had
I
me
don't
at vote down
really-
ballot blue, okay? You don't have
Yeah.
to go past this. If we get into
No,
libertarian
100%.
ideology, I might get upset. So
Yeah, and it's the same thing when, like, you know, labels are only contextually important, and you know sometimes a personal identity kind of matters. Like, I mean, a lot of my family members call me a socialist, even though you know I get on these panels and I'm certainly not a socialist. But you know, so
have they
like
seen the flags in your living room? It's like the most
yeah, that is what
thing I've
screams
ever
socialist.
seen in my
Oh,
That's
whole
what
life.
screams socialist to them. They're like queer flag, losers, supports Ukraine. Yeah, for sure. And like
If they
obviously
say
the
it's
NATO
not
flag.
Ukraine,
to me.
Oh,
Obviously,
boy.
the NATO flag should probably clue them in if they understood, you know,
Anything.
a little bit more about.
I think that's one of the really to kind of. I do want to get to the Trump versus the Pope stuff, and we will in a second. But just to kind of put a cap on this, one of the things that very much distresses me, it frustrates me, is liberal is a slur at this point. You have people on the right just constantly pointing, like in Hunter's case, they'll point at your LGBTQ flag, they'll point at your Ukraine flag, they'll point at your late NATO flag, and they'll be like, "You liberal motherfucker, you socialist." Whereas the actual socialists, the actual communists,
They
are
hate me
also
too.
being like, "You fucking fascist, you
100%.
fucking, you
The
know,
amount of times Prime
NATO
Kai calls me
imperialist.
a fascist hand washer, whatever that means.
You're
And
a
I'm
fascist hand washer."
yeah, that's his slur for me and other liberals.
What, do leftists don't wash their hands?
I don't know.
I don't. You'd have
It's
to ask
essentially
him the
like you're
origin of that.
enabling
But yeah,
fascism,
like
right?
yeah,
That's the-
exactly. Yeah, that I'm helping them along. I'm not a fascist myself, but I'm their guardian. I'm their right wing. Yeah. Anyway, no, for sure. And it feels very bizarre. I mean, this is a perpetual conversation on Whick.tv, but the idea that a lot of left wing creators are you know, they pivot so hard against the Democratic Party that it feels like any sort of political movement is impossible. I mean, that's a very that's a reality for sure that I don't deny.
Well, yeah, I guess since we have you here, Lilith, who you voting for, Hasan or Fetterman, if you had to pick?
Oh.
I'd have to see their cabinet. I don't know.
Fair enough.
I'm voting
it's
for
possible.
Palestine. I don't have to vote for third party in that instance. I'm joking, of course.
We know
No,
Hasan and his
I don't
radical
know.
hate crimes against the Twitter LGBT community. Okay, we have to take that into account.
True. Okay, let's talk about Trump and the Pope.
No.
Have you guys seen the latest meltdown, I guess, by Trump?
By Trump.
Trump and Vance.
No.
Vance is, I think, more interesting because Trump, at the very least, is not a Catholic. I mean, he's not a Protestant either. He's nothing. He just pretends.
Yeah,
but like JD Vance, Marco Rubio, these people who, for all intents and purposes, should view the Pope as the theological expert on God's judgment, on God's will. And that doesn't mean like everything the Pope says. There's a term for this. It's not a something ex something facto. I don't remember what it is, but like what gives the Pope,
it's like
the
from
word,
the throne.
From the throne, exactly. It's like when he's speaking on the throne, that's when he's like dictating the word of God. But when the Pope says something about, I don't know, sports, or like, hey, I like Starbucks coffee, that's not the word of God endorsing Starbucks. But when you are JD Vance,
ex cathedra,
thank you. When you are arguing, as JD Vance did, against the Pope's prescription on theology, on what God says about war, about those who wield the sword, and you believe he's the utmost authority on biblical interpretation, I don't know what the fuck you're doing. Why are you Catholic anymore? Like, go start your own branch. It is insane to me that these people can say, this is the guy who spiritually guides me and God's will through my entire life and prescribes every single thing I do. These people say God before country, God before family. This is the utmost authority in the Creator. And yet, the guy that he, appointed to be a spokesperson, I got that part wrong. I don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, it obviously makes you question if they really are Catholic or if they are just Catholic in name to get themselves elected. Like, genuinely, what their I mean, I could easily believe that of JD Vance. JD Vance feels like a complete opportunist who just sort of jumps ahead on whatever he thinks would get him ahead in life. So if he's not a Catholic, I would easily believe that. But I don't know about Rubio, and he's a little bit of a black box to me.
I might have something to add to this. As someone who was raised Catholic, and I have to say, most people who loudly proclaim themselves as Catholic today, especially the adult converts, like our dear Vice President JD Vance, they've mostly got into the religion for the aesthetics and nothing else. They like the cool Gothic buildings, the paintings of saints, the whole music, the big organs, and they don't really. They find the whole American Protestant movement to be cringe with their mega churches and their screaming pastors. And yes, I agree, it is incredibly cringe. Especially American Protestantism. But the bottom line is they don't really care that much about anything that has to do with Catholicism.
Well,
I was reading a comment the other day from one of the people reacting to the Pope denouncing war, and the person was like, "This Pope's a commie. Hashtag not my Pope."
Well, there's a conspiracy theory going around, and this is being promoted by multiple right-wing accounts, that this all started, and this is their claim, that David Axelrod met with the Pope, okay, and then the next day, the Pope started attacking Trump. So this is Obama through David Axelrod. So Obama sent David Axelrod to the Pope, and they coordinated on how to drive a wedge between Catholics in America and Trump. That is the conspiracy going on right now. So there's a lot of people who are pushing this idea.
And even if you believe that, you believe that God's appointed, voice is compromised by Barack Hussein Obama, that he's so powerful that he can corrupt the vocal, spokesperson for God, then like, why do you, I don't know, sounds like a shitty God. Sounds like your God has a skill diff. You should embrace a different religion.
Just real quick before I let you go, Stardust, like, I think that a lot of people, especially newer Catholics, as Lilith said, the adult Catholic converts, especially in this environment, and not all of them, I'm certainly not trying to say every single one, but there is quite a few. There are quite a few who are simply doing it because they view it as a way to as a weapon to wield against their enemies, the migrants, and Muslims, and these things. And they are big into Deuce Volt posting, right? You'll see them like, make no peace with evil. We have to destroy it. If God, through the Pope, called a crusade, I would join it instantly. And meanwhile, the Pope's out there saying, "Well, okay,
you should be nice to your neighbor."
Yeah. And it's always so funny because I sometimes I talk to these Catholics and I'm like, what? Like, genuinely, the first thing I think of Catholic populations are Latin Americans. Like, the amount, like, they're like, these Latin Americans, they're coming in with this like incompatible culture. I'm like, that's your culture. That's not even my culture.
Literally.
I'm agnostic. Like, you guys, like, these guys are, I don't know. It feels so bizarre sometimes. Like,
Yeah.
that.
But yeah,
I mean,
no, Whick,
obviously,
it's like
go ahead. Oh,
Oh, well, I was gonna say it's like, hey, like I'll do anything for my God and my country. It's like, hey, be nice to people, and they're like, well, I don't know. It reminds me of like during COVID, and all these people were like,
I
I
don't
would
know.
literally drag my
That sounds
balls on
communist.
glass to stop the fucking like Democrats from being into power. And it's like, hey, would you wear a 2mm mask to like keep your neighbors safe from COVID? And like, absolutely not. That's too much. You're asking too much of me. It's like, what do you believe in? Like, you just want to LARP.
Yeah, I want to hear what
Yeah.
Stardust's been trying to get in here. Go ahead.
So I guess the only thing I would say, I don't know much about like Catholicism or whatever, but I will say, like, if JD Vance is, I find the words of JD Vance a little bit menacing, right? What happened to the last pope when he visited him? He fucking died. Okay, now he's warning the current pope, oh, you should be careful when you talk about theology. Is that a threat? Like,
I
don't
visit
know.
you.
I feel
be
like
careful.
yeah, that's like fucking scary, dude. Like, if JD Vance didn't like the current pope, he probably shouldn't have killed the last one. And I don't think it's very smart for him to kill this one either. So
we just have to make sure it's allegedly. It's allegedly. Okay?
No, we can't prove it.
Yeah, we don't want any false accusations.
We'll figure it out, though.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, be careful is kind of menacing. Okay, saying be careful to the Pope. Yeah,
it's like the Stephen
Crowder.
Crowder.
He's such a tough guy. No. It's not that it's a threat. It's that he's such a fucking try it. He's fucking quivering little. I don't know. I can't fucking stand JD Vance.
The audacity
he's got a tough guy
to be a new convert.
I hate him so much.
Yeah, the audacity to be a new convert to a religion, and then coming in and seeing and saying to the head of your religion, at least the earthly head, like, bro, you got it wrong. You should listen to me. It's always funny too. This administration has, from day one, been mixing religion into their politics, like blessed be the peacemakers, quoting scripture, referencing scripture when it comes to going into the Iran, right? Saying, oh, well, we're just doing this to start the rapture and things like that. We gotta do this to start the rapture. And they're constantly doing this. But then when the Pope says something about, blessed be the peacemakers, they're like, well, bro, why are you making it political? Why are you stepping into politics? If you don't want religion to get into politics, don't use religion to push your politics, because the people whose religion you're using to push your politics might have something to say about it. And that's entirely okay for them to step in, because, bro, you brought it in. You took it into the space. Now they're here. Now it's here.
Well, it's a very common pattern with people saying, like, oh, don't bring politics into this. It's the same thing with people who say that about, like, video games or media, where it's like, oh, don't bring politics in. We just like it when it's like... And then some of these people are just like, whenever a piece of media even remotely hints that they agree with them, they'll be like, oh, base, we love this. Everybody buy this. Yes. And it's like, you don't really want no politics. You want your politics. And you hate it when, there's any dissenting opinion. Like, with all this, like you said, with all this basically death cult bullshit, with like, oh, we gotta have to start a war in the Middle East and to trigger the rapture, so to basically end the war. It's like, well, and then the Pope coming out against that. Well, he's basically pissing on your plan, on your evangelical doomsday death cult plan, because you're not a real Catholic. You are an American Protestant who is LARPing. You are a LARPer.
Yeah, it's so obvious too when you say they're capitalizing on it based on the aesthetics. I mean, Trump of all people, he can't even quote a Bible verse, but we'll have these Catholic leaders and bishops come and visit him in the White House, put their hands on him, pray for him, and he does this because he knows it looks like he has the divine right, the God's will. That's
But
it.
it's such an open secret. I don't know if anyone I have a lot of Christian friends who voted for Trump. I don't know if anyone really actually believes that Trump is a Christian.
I tried to confront Lila Rose on this yesterday. She's like the super big abortion pro-life advocate. Because I was curious. I'm like, you're a Catholic. You seem to support the Republican Party. How do you square this circle where like these people are being so sacrilegious who are denouncing your spiritual leaders? And she actually said, I don't support Trump. I'm very critical on him. Obviously, she never said I'm going to condemn him or anything because how could she? That would be optically bad. But like, it does seem like, yeah, there's this large contingent of religious people who are like, oh, gross, it's this fucking guy. But if you're a single issue voter on abortion, then like, okay, I get it. Like, you just have to hold your nose and go for it.
Yeah, especially when he got them what they wanted.
Yeah.
Without Trump, Roe v. Wade would still be in force.
Yep.
Yeah. Let me make a little money here. $2 from Lost Coyote of MA to say, move over, Gamergate. It's Vatican Gate's turn. Oh, wonderful. $5 from My Listening Library YouTube to say, do you think that Catholics are now viewing the Pope as just someone in an ivory tower, telling the normal people how to act like any powerful rich guy?
I would like to give them more credit.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that's pretty critical of Catholic. I mean, I know I was just talking to 2 Catholics today who were like, we're gonna who were setting fire to their MAGA hats because of what happened. Like, it was crazy. Not literally.
I was for the mass deportations and the killings.
No,
and
genuinely. I'm like, it's crazy.
But then you went after me.
And then they started bringing up shit, that happened like 2-3 years ago. And I'm like, I talked to you 2-3 years ago.
Yeah, you
no,
didn't
the
seem
hell
to care
you
all
didn't.
that much.
No,
I'll take the wins where we
Yeah.
can get it, but these people are so shameless.
No, it's so transparent.
Well, this I guess this ties into like, who do we allow in the tent and who do we work with, and what does that mean?
Right.
Like,
Yeah,
if
work with
this
them,
is
but
your
just
straw,
accept that it's a tenuous connection, and these people will dump you at the slightest grievance.
I think my real point is
Go
it's
ahead.
a big tent for voters. I don't fucking care who, as long as you vote for us, you could be anyone. If you start campaigning, then I'm going to start, purity testing a little bit. Well, like it's like voters who I don't care about at all. Then it's advocates.
The voters
I guess
who I don't care about at all. Huh?
I don't care about them at all. Yeah. Then advocates, which I will purity test quite a bit, and then the actual politicians who I will purity test the hell out of.
It's like a question, Hunter, like, how much power do you give these people? When we did Operation Barbarossa in World War II, and we're like, we need help from the USSR to fight the Nazis, we're not handing them our nuclear football and we're like, all right, here's the keys, I gotta go, take a whiz. Like, you just, hold on to these nukes for a couple seconds. It's like, all right, we know what's probably going to happen after the war once our mutual goals are accomplished, but we still might use each other here. So
yeah, I'm happy to have them as voters. I'm not going to alienate them, but I do want them.
I think that's where
know.
I'm at with it too. I will let anyone vote for me, but when you if you want me to make concessions to you, almost certainly not.
Almost definitely not. Yeah,
almost certainly not. And this I'll just ask this to the group. When it comes to these disaffected Catholics, are there any concessions we should be willing to give them? I'm just curious.
No.
They
should be groveling at our fucking feet.
I agree. And also, here's the thing.
I don't know if
I feel really good about these midterms. I know this could blow up in my face, but man, I really feel like the Republican Party is in shambles. They're not going to turn up to vote. They feel completely disaffected by their party, and the Democrats want to claw back that fucking power. I feel really good. Like, the fact that Hasan is kind of like trying to smuggle himself into the Democratic Party. I know we have frustrations with that, but that does signal that like the leftists do recognize the Democrats can do something.
I was trying to move off Hasan, but now I have thoughts. $5 from Gelatinous Rube. We handed the USSR pretty much everything except the nukes. Point taken, though. Thank you for the $5. That is my fear. Like, I'm with you. I think that the Democrats are going to sweep. I think that we have a better than
You
even
think we're gonna
chance
make
taking
that?
back the Senate.
Hell yes!
Not
I
just
want
the
to.
House, but the
Of course, we're
Senate.
gonna get the House. The House is locked
Yeah,
in.
that like I think we're gonna get the House by like 30 to 40 seats. I think it's gonna be.
You are making me hard, Wick. Please stop talking.
Jesus Christ. Okay, well, this ain't that kind of stream, buddy. We'll do that later.
I'm sorry. We'll do it later. Yeah.
But here's my concern though.
Yeah.
Is that is exactly what they're going to do. People like Hasan and the people who are, for whatever reason, promoting him and trying to kind of insert him into the Democratic tent. And it's obvious they're doing this. I think Pod Save America is obviously doing this. Mehdi Hasan is obviously doing this. There's a few others who are obviously doing this, and I don't know exactly why. I can make guesses, but I'm not sure, so I won't. He's going to turn around and say, look, these successes, these midterms, only because of me. I was in the tent and you won.
Yes. 100% you will.
And I'm trying to workshop a way to stop that from happening. And I don't know exactly how we can.
I am curious. This isn't exactly an answer to your question, but I am curious, and maybe this is my fault for giving too much good grace to people. And I usually really like PodSave. I think that they're usually pretty good. Do you think that it's like genuine ignorance that they see some clips and they're like, watch out for Hasan, and they see the clips and it's like America deserved 9/11, and they're like, okay, that's pretty shitty, but like I can at least understand the sentiment that like he's pretty critical of American foreign policy. He comes on and he's like, no, absolutely, I support what the Democrats are doing, and I like a lot of the Democratic voters, and they're like, shit, all right, if this guy's got a ton of streams, like I want to bring him into the camp, not recognizing how much he has been.
I don't give them this grace.
Okay.
Look, I give the normies this grace. Fair. If you're just like some viewer or some chatter or some guy who this is not your job, then fair, right? I get it. I get why you would be deceived in many ways. But if your whole podcast is politics,
But it's not streamer politics. It's like real world politics. I would bet that these guys really don't know who Hasan is. Like,
they're giving him softball questions based on what he has said.
I agree.
To tee him up so he can get like a better optical win out of it. But then it's like the Hamas question. They're like,
that was crazy.
Did you really
that was
mean
pretty
this when
crazy.
you support Hamas? Like you didn't really mean it, did you?
And he's like, yes, I fucking do.
Like they absolutely teed that up for him.
I agree. That was crazy.
To kind of go. So I think they are absolutely aware of who he is and what he said.
Maybe.
I don't give them that grace that they just don't know. I just don't do that. I don't know. What are everyone else's takes? Go ahead.
We can move on to
Stardust. Do you give them the grace?
The Catholics?
No.
I tuned out. I'm so sorry.
No, the pod, like, do the
I'm
pod?
sorry.
We can move on.
Did the pod people?
Maybe that
like,
wasn't that interesting.
The pod people. Did they?
No,
were they too kind and giving too much grace? I think so. I think they should know better, and I think they should do research before they have these people on.
Yeah, no. When you mentioned just a few like maybe a minute ago about him talking about Hamas, that like, and him like being like, no, I'm serious about like supporting Hamas. Yeah, they should have learned before then. Sure. But I mean, you know, somebody else said that, you know, these podcast networks kind of work in a way where they're all like cross promoting each other. So I'm not super surprised by it, if I'm going to be real with you. And I think Pod Save America, probably they want to like be seen by a younger audience. They want to like grow their audience, you know, to a new, you know, they want to like be visible to a new group, right? And so it just makes sense, you know. I'm not surprised by it at all.
I'm tired of people on the right doing this, and they'll do it all the time, and you'll see it with politicians. Like, oh, I've never heard of that. Well, did you see the amount of people who tried to launder Trump's AI tweet about like where he was depicted himself as
Barack Obama?
Yeah.
Oh, no, that one.
Yeah,
there's
that one.
I'm thinking of 3 different controversial Trump tweets that he used AI for. The one where he shit on the protesters, the Jesus one,
well, and
Obama
really
says monkeys.
frankly,
and Obama being a monkey.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I think it's funny that the racism wasn't what got people. It was him depicting himself as Jesus.
Well,
so
I think it got.
Oh no, that went too far.
A little. But I worry that they're just gonna go like they're just gonna bleed the slop that's being laundered. There's an army of influencers who, whatever Trump says or whatever Trump does, they may at the moment condemn it, but they will launder what he does and what he says. They will polish that turd until it shines, and then they will blast it out there, right? The right is exceptionally good at doing this. The left does not. The left has
because the left has smarter constituency that won't believe that kind of bullshit and actually like holds its own party to the fire. You know, like how can you convince the party that would excise Al Franken or Eric Swalwell for these like sexual scandals that, you know, those things aren't a big deal versus the party who will watch Trump cheat on his wife and talk about grabbing women by the pussy and storm into the legal bathrooms and be friends with Jeffrey Epstein, and then JD Vance will go up and say Jeffrey Epstein and Donald Trump hated each other, and everyone will just be okay with that. Like, that would never fly in our party. It's just, we can't do that. It's not that we're not, it's just, you cannot convince the less stupid people that this stuff is completely sellable. It's just not gonna work.
Yeah. JD Vance literally got on TV, repeated the lie about Haitians eating cats and dogs, admitted that it was a lie, and was like, oh, well, if it suits the, you know, he made a justification for it. Like, oh, it's like communicating a sentiment that people have. Like, you admitted that this was untrue, and you kept running with it. So if people are willing to excuse that, like that kind of blatant like lying, they're willing to excuse like what Soy Pill just said about Trump being like an incredible misogynist and like cheating on his wife while she's pregnant, right? Like excuse him doing everything else. Yeah.
How do we solve this imbalance? Right? How do we solve this imbalance? What can we do? Because it is an imbalance. It is something that we have that is I guess, a disadvantage when it comes to new media, when it comes to rhetoric in these spaces and things like that. It's very, very hard to overcome just constant repetition of workshopped talking point lies.
Well, yeah, you have to have a similar level of fire hose to like debunk all the crappy disinformation, but then you can't spend half your time tearing your own side down because they're not perfect enough. It's both of those because they're not doing that. They'll fucking go lockstep. You know, you see Brylan Hollyhand or whatever fucking stupid bullshit commentator being like, oh, the Catholic thing, this is crazy. I can't believe Trump did this. I'm burning my MAGA hat. Who are they voting for in November? Fucking Republicans, of course. Not even close. So they're going to be critical of it. Like, whatever. You know, spend 10 seconds criticizing your own party. Try to push them in the right direction. Don't waste your breath when you could be fighting the people who are actually going to make your life worse. That's more important.
Unfortunately, in this country, we just have a large segment of people who are just unthinking NPC drones, really. Who will just you guys all have seen like polls where it's like MAGA's opposed to one thing one day, and then Trump says something, and then polls taken a week after that is there's like a fucking 30-point shift towards that position. Like we've seen that with most recently the Iran war, and although perhaps to a lesser degree, I think this one might be the one where cracks are forming a bit. But even still, there's still a huge contingent of people who do not have their own beliefs. They do not think. They just hear what Trump and their leaders tells them, and then they just adopt it unthinkingly. And you mentioned earlier that the left don't do this. There is unfortunately a segment of the left who will do this, and because you know what that kind of behavior reminds me of?
Go ahead.
Hasan fans.
Sure, but no Democratic politics.
I didn't say
they're not Democrats.
I know they're not Democrat, but I'm just talking about like behavior on the, I guess, broader left, and I know they're not Democrats, but it's like I know, unfortunately,
I wish we were more like that, honestly.
Living rent free in many ways.
Just to defend that.
Let me just
finish.
Finish that. The way that there was just they'll take what he says and be like, "Oh, you're missing the context," like you said, the laundering of what these people of the crazy things, like MAGA will launder crazy things he'll say, and then like the fanatics will launder the things that Hasan has said. It's like, but unfortunately, and that's why it's like it's so difficult because when we're talking about having a big tent, it's just, do we just have these people who will just unquestion? Is it good to have these people who will just follow a
blindly, yeah,
leader blindly completely? Because like he's as like
it's not
as
good.
much
But
as
this is what I was talking about,
as
where
much
these
as
are
he tries to as much as he tries to ingratiate himself with the Dems lately, he's not a Democrat and at all. Like,
Well,
and
neither are
if
you, so
oh,
watch it.
of course, I'm not. But I'm just saying.
of course. You should say
I think there's
sorry.
a
You should
healthy amount
apologize
of
that
it.
you're
But it's
not.
like
There's a healthy amount of like I think there can be a healthy amount of like, oh, we're in lockstep, right, without like blindly believing everything, right? I do wish that the Dems would be a little bit more in lockstep with each other, where they're like, okay, we have a mission, we have to get this shit done, but they're a little bit too much in the opposite direction.
I don't
you know?
I don't know, like, I get what you're saying. I hear you. And I think that on some things, it's good to kind of hold your fire on in certain instances, depending. But there's a threshold for me. The reason,
Well, I'm not saying go all the way
yeah,
where
no, I
MAGA
get you. I
is.
get you.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you are. I'm not saying you are. I want to be clear. But there's two things I want to address here because Lilith is exactly right when she says that Hasan fans act almost exactly like MAGA fans. Like it's the same mindset. And Hasan, in many ways, acts like Trump. I just checked to make sure it was still up. But let me pull up something for you guys. I want you to look at it. Let me make it bigger for you. Okay. This is Hasan making something up. So he's quote tweeting the Swan Marcus guy.
yes, I saw that.
Shout out to
He
one
Oh
he
yeah,
just
I saw that
literally
too.
says guy who wrote how-to articles about sex tourism in Asia, fantasizing about mechanics in the Rust Belt like they're savages who'd hate M4A, free college, and holding Israel accountable. Buddy, you're in for a wild ride if you ever go outside. The problem is, he just made that up about this guy. Like that's absolutely not true. Swan Marcus never wrote a book on a how-to guide on sex tourism in Asia. He never did that. He just made up. First of all, he confused Swan Marcus with some right-wing guy, okay? And people have told him that. It's
community noted. I think the more important misconstrued thing here is he's saying, oh yeah, like Rust Belt rural people overwhelmingly support Medicare for all, holding Israel to account, and it's like that's just not reflected in the polls at all.
I
like,
know,
these people
it's not even a little bit.
The more important thing to me is that he was willing to totally lie, make up a lie about a gentleman, right? A guy,
and then
just
not take
because
it down
he's
or
his
apologize.
Political enemy. Not take it down after everyone and their mother is calling him out on this, right? There's been post after post after post by people saying, "Yo, that's wrong. That's incorrect."
Fucked up.
And he just leaves it up. He just keeps
he
it up
just
there.
tweeted it out.
There's a community note and everything, and also like
that's the way how his ecosystem works, though. Yeah, his ecosystem works that way though, where like somebody will put something out fake, like they everybody in that space does it. People will put things out that are fake all the time, and then other people will parrot it, retweet it, continue to share it, continue to say, "Isn't this a guy who?" And yeah, it's a thing. But I will say, I still think that the Democrats themselves could be more in lockstep. Like a great example of this, just to kind of bring it back to like actual effective politics, a great example of this I feel like was the last presidential election. Like how like we were in fucking chaos. Like I think it was Adam, what's his name, the guy who predicts predicts who's going to win the presidency. I think Lickman. Yeah, he was yeah, Lickman. He was talking about how
guy.
Yeah, the Keys.
Okay.
Yeah.
The guy where Cenk was like
about, yeah. So he was talking about how he's never seen the Democrat Party the Democrat Party attack their own candidate so much, right? And by attacking their own candidate, they're putting like this face of like chaos forward, and who's gonna fucking vote for that, right? Like, I do think that we have a serious issue where we do not know how to get in the lockstep and like really achieve things, you know, just like get to the mission and do it, you know. The perfect candidate doesn't exist, and sometimes you kind of just have to go and push for your shit, you know.
Okay,
So
But here's the thing.
Go
It's
ahead.
like, because I wanted to say this when Lilith was like, do we want these people? And the answer is like, obviously, you can't turn down power. If these people are going to vote for you, you need to keep them voting for you. You just, one, cannot rely on them, because you know that these people could easily switch back. And that's why it's so frustrating when it's like, hey, yeah, are we working with these Never Trumpers? Are we going to work with these leftists? The answer is, yeah, if they're going to vote for us, yeah, if they're going to help our candidates get elected, yeah, if they'll give us money. But don't pretend like these people aren't going to flip on you. The instant they get the first chance, the instant there's someone who's slightly deviant of your politics that makes them happier, like this is always going to be a tenuous connection with these people who barely align with you, but you have a similar goal. So as long as you can acknowledge that, try to retain as many of those people as you can. It doesn't matter that they're these, you know, NPC voting blocks, as you want to call them. What matters is, how can I get as many of these people on my side as I can in the short term, but don't give them power and don't give them anything that they're asking for if you know they'll never do the same to you.
Yeah, I agree entirely. Like, that's basically like my mindset on this, because if I would not have nearly as much issues with Hasan as I do if he would just if he would just drop the whole, oh, I would never vote for Gavin Newsom no matter what bull crap. Because I don't think, I mean, as a California resident, Gavin Newsom leaves some to be desired. That's to say the least. And I'm sure some people might disagree, but like, even still, I don't care if it's Gavin Newsom or Bo or AOC, whoever is the Democratic nominee at the end of the primaries. I think everybody here will vote for them.
Anyone? I don't
Anyone
know.
who's in serious contention.
I don't know if there's a couple. I don't know if I would.
Who?
Well, I mean, the front runners. I'm not talking about like any like.
Do you think Fetterman's worse than Trump?
Crazy?
No, but
so you would.
It would depend. That's why I've said it depends, right? Like,
yeah, Fetterman versus Rubio is a better question, but maybe not even Rubio. Like I
always use John Kasich as like the vanilla Republican who's still a neocon.
Sure.
No, I would vote for John Kasich over Fetterman. Is that a hot take?
I think you're attaching every other Republican in Congress and keeping Republicans in power to that, even if you think he's more moderate.
Like,
less
to be clear, I don't think Kasich can, in this environment, win the Republican nomination.
I agree with that. I also.
Okay, but what about JD though? I think I would vote for
JD Vance. I would vote for Soy Pill over JD Vance. Okay.
Why is that like the worst example you can think of?
On.
Jesus.
Would you vote for Soy Pill or Fetterman?
President.
Soy Pill.
Hell yeah.
Huh, Whick?
Answer the question. I would say creatine is a mandatory social program. Okay, we would have an amazing.
No, we're giving Soy Pill a hard time here, but
hell yeah.
I like
free school lunches.
There's another
and
guy
protein
who
powder
I would,
in the milk.
One of the
would
things
you
that I'm
vote
really
for banana
about,
Stardust or normal Stardust?
Banana.
Banana Stardust isn't a woman, so I'd vote for Banana Stardust because I think she has.
I don't know if it's a different person or it's like a meme or an insult joke. I guess to finish my point earlier, it's like, but would someone like Hasan do the same? Because like, if the primaries, yeah, of course not. But like, once the primaries is over, and AOC or Bo doesn't defy all potential outlooks at the moment, and come out on top, it's just like, what's going to happen? Is he's going to advocate for voter apathy the same way with Kamala Harris, like 9 times out of 10. I would be thrilled if he proves me wrong. I would be dumbfounded and thrilled if he were to actually prove me wrong. Please prove me wrong.
I think the big thing.
He probably won't.
Well, like, I think another danger of the Hasan kind of promoted candidates is Hasan doesn't have the same goals as us as Democrats, And so I worry about getting him closer to his, because to be clear, I think his goals are the destruction.
How did
of
this turn
America.
into a Hasan panel again, Wick?
Yeah.
No,
I didn't sign up for this shit.
You knew what you were getting into.
I didn't.
Okay,
I thought
true.
maybe we'd have 1 or 2 Hasans
You went on a
per
Whick
hour.
panel and you didn't think it was going to be about Hasan?
Oh,
Liar.
God. Oh God.
Well, again,
I
he
tried to.
keeps
I
being
tried
in
to
the news
redirect it.
Where hold on, you know, this is another thing that where Hasan is like Trump. You know how many people, Republicans, were like, "Why are you talking about Trump all the time? Why do you always talk about Trump?
Yeah, but they were
Why
saying
does
that when he
every
was
single
president.
thing you have to do with Trump?"
I will
It's
say,
a 1-to-1 type thing.
It's not
okay?
1-to-1.
not.
One of them was fucking President Wick.
I do think that is, yeah. Also, Hasan has only ever featured me in a kind way. So, shout out Hasan. He got like a million likes on a clip of
that's not
me
Hasan
and him.
related.
Wait, Wick.
Platinum.
Ogre Boy's in my chat. He says, "Are you familiar with the Brady Bunch?" Because Ogre Boy is saying Marcia, 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 and laughing. I don't understand. Marsha. I thought it was spelled
It's
differently.
But
No.
Ogre Boy is like, look, Kyle Kalinske is like cat turd, okay? He's always going to polish Hasan's shit and just spew it out no matter what it is.
Wait, who was
Ogre Boy
Cat
is
Turd?
like, who's a MAGA guy in my chat? Tash God of Fools, okay? That's what Ogre Boy is. It's the same thing. But let's talk a little bit about Plattner.
Oh.
Any Plattner supporters in the chat?
I'm okay. I'm okay with Plattner.
Are you?
I won't be
I don't know
super
if
upset if he succeeds because I like his policies. I think the man has incredibly poor judgment and has shown a bad ability
with
to
this.
lie and a really good. You just call me Destiny? How dare you?
Who did?
You did.
I did?
You said I agree with Destiny.
No, I said I agree with that.
Okay,
I don't know.
Okay. Sorry.
I
No,
don't
maybe
know.
I have
Maybe-
Destiny.
I don't
Yeah, I
think
think
so.
you're hearing stuff.
Okay.
I think you're hearing
I'm
stuff.
hearing.
Yeah.
I'm here. He's in my fucking walls.
You know,
No,
what it was? I can almost guarantee this, and you can tell me if I'm right or wrong. There's people talking about Destiny in your chat. You were reading it, and it just got stuck in your
No,
head.
everyone's talking about the Brady Bunch and Trump and Hasan actually.
This guy's still, my chat's still obsessed with the keys. So, in case anyone's
fair
wondering.
No, but fuck, what was I just saying? God damn it, this lost my train of thought. What was the question just asked? Oh, Plattner. Yeah, no, it's like I'm not going to be upset if he wins, but I anyone who's like, I'm joining Blackwater after the Blackwater scandal. I'm like, all the things you said. It's like I just don't trust this person's judgment. And yeah, so we'll see what happens.
So my opinion on Plattner is basically that, like you said, the poor choice of judgment thing. He has I don't know, he comes off as potentially a decent chance of turning out like Fetterman from that.
Who?
Fetterman.
Sorry, who is
Plattner.
that?
Plattner.
Plattner. We're talking about Plattner. Graham Plattner.
I don't know if I see
Ending up
that
like
either.
Fetterman, but
I could see him as, so here's my analysis on Plattner. I agree that he has shown poor judgment. I do, and maybe the whole panel is going to go against me. I fully believe him that he didn't recognize the totem cop. I don't know what the hell the totem cop is. I know that word because of Graham Plattner. I saw it for the first time on his body. Call me ignorant.
You're ignorant.
I don't care. I believe his story. Okay?
Guy didn't
I'm
play
fine
any
with-
Call of Duty or Wolfenstein.
I've never played Wolfenstein. Yeah, I don't play a lot of Call of Duty.
Look, I just don't believe
That's
him.
fine. That's fine. I'm going off of my perspective. I deal a lot with politics. I've never seen that.
But
fucking
it's
thing
not
in my
just that with this guy. Okay, like
I
so
agree.
I saw this interaction that I want to
Okay.
talk about a little bit because when we talk about how the far left is just polishing the turds, I want to talk about this. So this guy Max Doubler, I don't know him very well, but he
I think
says
he's
this.
gay though.
While that huge swaths of the American left have a huge problem with Pete Buttigieg's stint as a management consultant with McKinsey, but not Graham Plattner's work as a black model mercenary. And then this guy, he's another Hasan stan, right? Says he wasn't a Blackwater mercenary. He was a diplomatic security for a related company. Do you guys know what company he worked for? Just out of curiosity.
I don't.
No.
So the name of the company was Collinser, I believe. And it was a company that got bought out, right? That was Blackwater that changed its name. It just changed its name. It was Blackwater, but they changed its name.
Wait, why would they change their name? Was there like something that Blackwater didn't want to be
I don't
associated
know
with that name
exactly,
anymore or
right?
something like that? Or like...
But the bro has a Blackwater hat that he wears. I mean, what are we talking about here? He was a mercenary. Does it matter that he wasn't officially a Blackwater specific mercenary when we're going after these guys?
Yeah,
like he would never. You would never do this when it came to Josh Shapiro and the IDF, right?
Or just say for
fully
Pete
agree.
Buttigieg. If Pete Buttigieg had been in Blackwater, they would not have let this shit go in 2020. And here's the thing. I don't like that he was a McKinsey consultant, and I think it's a good reason to shit on him. I don't think this disqualifies him. I don't think Slotkin being a CIA agent disqualifies her. But it's a question of how do you view it, and is the left going to hold their, more progressive candidates to the standard? And the answer is they're not. They'll whitewash it 100%, and it is frustrating.
Right. We all know we all know why the left isn't going after Plattner, and that's because he's much more progressive than Buttigieg is, or at least he signals to their base a lot better.
I don't think he's lying about his position. Well,
No. But I'm saying I think Buttigieg is actually pretty progressive. I don't know if genuinely they have that many policy disagreements, but I do think that Plattner has their language. I don't think he's lying about him, but I do think that I don't know. I don't think that's
I don't know. I worry we're too. There is a limit to what I accept in the 10, and I think Plattner's pushing it. It's Vishy for $2 says.
I agree.
Hasan could sneeze.
I think Plattner's pushing it for me too. But,
yeah. Hasan could sneeze, and Ogre would get a tat of it. Thank you for the $2. True. Yeah. Hold on. Is the guy Marshaing me? Isn't he the guy with Hasan literally tattooed onto his flesh?
I think, despite this, you do talk about him more than Ogre Boy.
To be fair. $5 Alexander to say, I would prefer a small tent, but ideologically united liberal party, even if it wins nothing but serves as a shining symbol of ideal behavior. Another $5. The voters are trapped in binary thinking, and without a visible liberal party, they'll continue to vote for a radicalizing opposite side to stop one of the other opposite sides. $5 from, again, same guy. I owe no and will never swear loyalty to any political party. I'm loyal to truth, whether it's good or bad for me, whether it hurts or helps. Thank you for the $15.
Middle school's that way, buddy.
Thank you. I totally agree with this. The idea that because I identify myself as a Democrat is because it's fully just party politics, and I'm just choosing a team like it's a sports team. I have huge ideological I'm in ideological parallel with 95% of the Democratic base. They support almost all of the policies, and I agree with them. Certainly we're going to have some disagreements. Certainly I've shit on some Democrats, or even maybe in some cases the Democratic Party in total. But the idea that this is just party politics.
If you call yourself a truth seeker, you were probably one of the most cringy dipshits I've ever met. Fucking read a book if you're such a truth seeker, and realize that there are actual sides to this with actual meaningful, cohesive politics. There's a reason there are parties. It's not just, I like to synthesize the best ideas from both.
I genuinely heard that today from that Catholic who just recently jumped ship from Trump. He was like, no, who I listen to everyone. I listen
what we call centrists? You know what we call people who listen to everyone? Republicans. They take those, okay? So shut your fucking mouth, all right?
Yeah.
$5
30 Rock reference.
Vishy,
yeah.
To say, Whick, you are insane if you take any Republican over Fetterman. I don't think so. I think
my biggest criticism. I think my biggest
criticism over Fetterman, sure, but
my biggest criticism of Fetterman is that he is a closet Republican. So if it's Republican v. Republican, I don't know. I'm going to have to think about it.
That's the way I've
Are you feeling lucky, punk? Are you feeling lucky?
Okay.
Maybe that's a flattening of Fetterman, though. I don't know. He really pisses me off. Maybe he is better than all the Republicans.
But by the way, to be clear, Whick, are you going to endorse Graham Plattner if he wins the primary?
Will I endorse him if he wins the primary against Susan Collins? Probably.
Yeah. Okay, cool. See, that's where I'm at.
I
have private problems
reservations of him as a person. And I would not be surprised if he's someone that is just going to be an anchor around our necks.
I hear this criticism, and I'm fine with that. As long
he wouldn't be doing so well if he was going to be that big of an anchor, right?
I don't know if that's true or not. Fetterman won by quite a bit.
Yeah, but he didn't maintain those same rhetoric positions. He literally had a stroke and changed, right?
On?
Like everything. You like completely flipped on how progressive he was, and now he's like, yes. What do you mean? Fetterman became like so much more center.
Before that he changed. Can you name a policy position that he
like
held
he is completely like what, Hunter?
Well, I will throw out he has become one of the most pro-Israel politicians, and I don't know if he really mentioned it. Maybe he wasn't like he
wasn't anti-Israel before.
No, sure, but like he really changed his focus. Is that fair to say?
Again, progressives didn't really care about Israel till October 7th.
That's not true, Wick. Yes, it's obviously a much bigger issue, but they absolutely cared about it.
Like there was still the Abraham Accords that, Trump implemented, and there was conversations about it. Sure, after October 7th, I do agree that it obviously became more of a talking point. But
no, I'm just waiting for like one policy.
The idea that he could be as progressive, like a Sanders type candidate, and now he is voting with Republicans on like appointing certain peoples to like he's campaigning on we have to stop Trump's fascism, and he is kowtowing to them as like a center left or maybe even like center politician. Like this is a great move away from what he campaigned on. Versus Plattner, I doubt maybe he'll change, but like if you look at what he is now and say I have reservations about his character, which I do, this is fine. If his policies start changing, and that would be my worry as to his character, is like his character might indicate that he's not going to follow through on these things that I like. That's the issue. But Fetterman completely has just moved away from that like super uber progressive that he ran on, which is why he was so popular. So like the anchor is the disingenuity.
I disagree as someone who was there during the Pennsylvania primaries. My guy was like, to be clear, I voted Connor Lamb in the primaries. Don't blame me. It was the progressives that wanted.
I don't care. Who'd you vote for in the generals?
I voted for Fetterman in the generals.
No, I know. That's why I'm saying I don't care.
Oh, because the Oz guy. I mean,
no, fucking for real.
Okay. And you want a concrete thing? He runs on Trump. He runs on Trump as a fascist. Trump is like hurting our country. We need to stop this. And then when there's a vote to condemn Trump's pardons of the January 6th people, he's the last person to sign on, because now he's this like, well, I don't know, we're driving the parties apart.
Did he sign on?
Oh, okay. Well, he signed on, Wick. I guess it's fine. He's the last person to do it.
Again,
like
he should.
That feels like a
policy.
How is this not? That's a policy, Wick. That's a policy. That is a policy.
You're talking about like his rhetoric changed.
I'd like to answer.
Fair enough, right? But like if we're talking
punishing people who try to overthrow the
switch.
Government is a policy, Wick. To be clear.
Okay,
I'm gonna talk about what you vote for on laws.
I'm gonna say for one, he votes to fund ICE pretty consistently. Like
votes to fund ICE, confirmed Pam Bondi.
And so when I'm looking at like Trump is a fascist, I guess my question is, if you're not frustrated with his pardons on ICE, if you're not, pardons on January 6th, if you're not frustrated with his funding of ICE, if you're not frustrated with his use of ICE, if you're not frustrated with his with Pam Bondi directing when he directs Pam Bondi to go after some people, what is fascist about Donald Trump? Like genuinely, like how could you see Donald Trump as a fascist and not look at through that lens?
Yeah. Wait, hold on. Wait. Let's keep going. Stop, Wick. We're gonna keep going. Please. He appointed Lee Zeldin, who helped gut the EPA. He helped appoint Kristi Noem. Like, what about this was the progressive that you voted for? Those are positions.
He
would
absolutely
not. I'm sorry, Wick. Did he run on supporting these people?
This is the kind of populist brain rot he had.
No, that's not.
I don't know if this is populist.
That's not populist brain rot. That's helping Trump.
I believe in populist brain rot. Believe me, I don't think that is populist brain rot. Populist brain rot is, what was it that Brianna Joy Gray was talking about? Where it's like, just fight for Medicare for all, overall,
force the vote.
Else. Force the vote. Yeah, that's populist brain rot. This is not populist brain rot. This is just conceding to fascism.
Well, these are not policies again.
How is it not a policy to say I am okay with Trump's EPA head who's going to gut the EPA? That's an environmental policy, right?
Again, what was his position before?
Was his position, I'm going to support Trump's picks for the EPA? Or was he running on climate change as a problem?
Oh, let me look. I don't remember climate change being in his... Look, he's Pennsylvanian, so he was pro-fracking, right? Like, so I don't think... I don't remember environmental policy being a big thing in the campaign. I'll go back and look, though.
John Fetterman called climate change an existential threat and urged a quick transition to clean energy, and then while he's in office is appointing Trump's EPA pick. That's not a flip on policy?
Promoting American energy and building a clean energy future. I'm seeing from Fetterman's campaign policies.
Yeah, and by that he means let's gut the EPA or allow Trump.
I
to
believe
do it.
that climate change is an existential threat. We need to transition to clean energy as quickly as possible.
Yeah, these are flips. These aren't, hey, he moderated. These are like, this man lied to us, right? And if that's what you're worried about with Plattner, I understand, because this is fucking insane. This is like, this guy went against his constituency. But if you're saying, I don't trust Plattner, I'm not sure if he's going to do this, okay. But if he's popular because of his positions, in the same way Fetterman was on his campaign, because he was saying different things than what he's doing now, that's the issue. Not, oh, he's too populist, oh, he's too left-wing. It's like, no, this guy's just lying about what he's actually going to support when he has power.
Okay, it could be little lies, or
it could be brain damage. To be fair.
alternatively, it could be the yeah.
Fair.
So maybe Plattner. I'm gonna give Plattner the benefit of the doubt and assume he's not gonna get a stroke in which he flips out all of his positions. I mean, assuming
Whick,
that's what happened with Fetterman.
Whick, I understand you're reticent to trust populists. I get it, and I think that it's largely fair. But I also think that we should be a little bit nuanced here and recognize Zoran was a pretty big populist too, and goddamn, he has been extremely successful as a mayor. I've been
you see that tax the rich video you made? Oh, that got me hard.
I know.
It's like, yeah, you have an unoccupied building? Fuck you.
Look,
we're taxing you.
Hell yes.
Zoran is a great politician. I am waiting to see how he does as an actual governing.
In terms of policy, he got universal pre-K, like he asked, like he campaigned on. He, I mean,
seems like he's been cutting red tape too.
Yeah, he's been a neoliberal when it's beneficial. I think AOC is very similar in that line. I have criticisms of Bernie because I think he acts too much like an activist and not enough like a politician actually gets policies done. But like we should be recognizing that a lot of these populists sometimes just have populist rhetoric and have good policies. Like that those type of
I'm
policies
waiting to see. I am still in wait and see.
That's fair.
With
That's
Zoran.
fair.
That's it.
Yeah, I think there's a difference between like a genuine. I think
hold
there's
on.
a difference between like somebody
hold on.
who...
Hold on. Stop, please. Why do you say that? He's been mayor for how long?
2 months.
100 days.
2 months. I can't judge whether or not he's successful in 2 months.
You could judge.
I think that we can look at
this is
what
literally
he's done in those 3 months.
This is literally a metric that we use on presidents. What did you do in the first 100 days? Yes, you can. You can't say his whole term, but to say I can judge how he's been doing, yes, you can. Absolutely, you can.
I think we can look at his universal pre-K, his work with.
You can say so far.
We can look at his taxes. The taxes that he did on secondary homes, which I think is one of the most efficient. Like when I look at taxing the rich, I'm very interested in tax policy, and I look at how sometimes, like Bernie Sanders, sometimes use horrific tax policy to try to get that done. Zoran did it in a very effective way, I would say, from an economic perspective.
We'll see. Again, I am withholding judgment.
I don't think
the tax policy
I don't think there's anything wrong with.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
No, I was just going to say that there is a difference between people who are like populist through and through, and people who use populist rhetoric but are like effective politicians. And I think we should as Democrats probably lean a little bit more into using populist rhetoric, right? In some like not go overboard with it, but it's effective, right? Like Obama did it, right? And so I mean
go ahead,
so I think there is a difference, though. I do think that there's a difference. Obviously, somebody who's a populist through and through, like I'm not down with that, but because it leads too much to other things that I don't like. But I don't see any problem with people who are implementing just good policies and communicating effectively. So
I agree with that. And my question for Whick is, if I were to go back in the Whick archives, January 22nd, 2025. Could I possibly find any sort of video or statement where you criticize the president?
Well, considering that we have 4 years prior of
you were criticizing his actions then, right? Because obviously you can criticize someone based on their actions in the short term. You don't have to withhold judgment. I think you're tepid about this because you're anti-populist brain rot, and you're like, oh, I don't know, Donnie, show me what you got. Or anti-socialist or anti-communist, whatever it is. But you can judge what he's doing now and say it's good or bad. You absolutely can. You've done this with
what is Zoran doing that's actually socialist and not just like liberal in disguise?
I'm not sure.
I will say his, and I'm still critical of Zoran.
But if someone calls themselves a socialist, I'm going to take them, at least at first, at their word.
That's fine. That's fine. All I'm saying is sometimes I think it's pretty effective to use like pretty left to get progressive policy through, to call yourself a socialist, signal to that base, mobilize that base, and then once you get in power, go, no, I'm not just going to do socialism. Sometimes I'm going to cut red tape down. Sometimes I'm going to, fix zoning regulations, even though that's seen as more libertarian.
So I understand the argument. The dangers of that is it waters down socialism and allows people to do it in the reverse, to say, I'm a socialist just like Zoran's a socialist, when they're absolutely not.
Yeah, sure. Welcome to labels.
Yeah, welcome to 10 years ago, Bernie Sanders. Like, we already passed that.
I don't know what to tell you.
People have a skewed view of socialism, anyways, right? Like, he's basing his socialism. So the Zoran Mamdani is basing his socialism off of Indian politics, right? And we're talking about Nehru, somebody who envisioned using socialist-like policies to uplift a large amount of people in India out of poverty, right? By having government ownership of certain utilities, right? Or having the government in charge of getting water to everybody and stuff like that, right? We're talking about a very different type of socialism than what a lot of Western people think about with socialism. If you're looking at again, Nehru, who was socialism in some sense, but had other policies as well. So I do think that the type of socialist also matters. So
I will also say I fucking hate, and maybe this is going to be a divide between me and Whick. I hate the left liberal distinction that people go so hard. Oh, I'm actually a leftist because I believe in anti-imperial. It's like we're the same thing. Like you guys, no, I hate. No. I hate. I don't know if you've met normies who call themselves socialists. They're just liberals. They're just liberals. 95% of the time, most people don't really have socialist policies. Most people don't actually want to see.
No, that's true, but they're not actually leftists in that case, right?
No, I agree, but they still call themselves leftists.
Hunter, Mamdani has the the government-owned grocery stores, right? That's a socialist policy.
I will say that is his worst policy by far. That is. And
is it bad? I actually don't know.
That's
where I'm withholding judgment. Let's see what happens.
Exactly, Soy Pill. Well, what? You can't praise it immediately?
Well, I don't
know. Hasn't even occurred
that hasn't
yet.
happened yet. That hasn't happened yet. I can't criticize him for it if I don't know what it is.
We don't know if it's going to be good, but I think that I can say.
I will say, look, I'll give him credit where it's due. Passing the free kindergarten or whatever.
Yeah,
right. That's good.
Huge.
That's good policy.
So quickly.
The tax policy that he recently introduced, it seems like an interesting way to kind of do a progressive tax policy on property.
You're talking about the $5 million.
Yes, the
second home.
If it's not your primary residence and it's over $5 million, there is a higher tax on that in New York City. That seems like a pretty good policy.
Pretty fucking good,
right? I don't know if it will work, but it's reasonable on its face, right?
Mm-hmm.
That said, there are a lot of policies that he's implementing or plans to implement that I am very skeptical about, such as the government-run grocery stores.
Is there another one?
I think you need to look at
that's the only one
who his influence. I think you guys need to look at who his influences are, right? Again, his one of his main influences is Nehru, and Nehru, again, in India, they do have government-owned grocery stores. Now, do I think that's the greatest idea myself? I probably not, But I think looking at the influences of where his policies are coming from, I think is going to be kind of vital to see how, and then seeing how it plays out in New York,
To your major point though, Hunter, I do think that there is a good reason to make sure that people understand the difference between a liberal and a leftist, right? I think these are good things. I think, again, we talked about it earlier. Liberals been treated as a slur when it should not be. We need to make people, instead of the default being I'm socialist because I think it's cool, even though all my policies are actually liberal. We should just get them to call themselves liberal.
I agree.
That should be our goal we have.
Of course. But
I think these labels, for certain people are not as important to others. You know, like people just want good policies, really, at the end of the day.
And when it comes down to any category works the way that all categories work, which is they're inherently blurry. Like there's not this strong demarcation.
There are
like
different...
leftists like sort of pretend like there are. So anything that sort of almost like helps blurry those lines, I think.
Hold on, just because I can't give you a specific, just because I will again admit on the edges there's some blur, doesn't mean they aren't distinct things.
I think me and Hasan are distinct things. I agree. But I do think that the average person who just watches like Hasan reels and is like, oh shit, that's pretty good, and then watches some of my videos, like
there's a lot of overlap there. Yeah.
Yeah, like come on. Like we're at the same.
I have to argue with all my real life Hasan friends who I'm like, hey, don't you think this stuff's bad? And they're like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And
yes,
exactly. They're not trying to gaslight me. They just straight up don't know.
Because like he's got like 200 videos, and again, like most of them, or a lot of them are crazy. But like only one of those was when he was interviewing the Hezbollah sailor. Or
Tim Houthi's Charlotte.
Sailor.
I do think it's important to distinguish.
No, for sure. I'm not trying to say more. I'm just saying, like, not everyone saw that video.
I do think it's important to distinguish when there are people living in different realities from us, though, right? Like when somebody is consistently engaging in historical revisionism or consistently like rewriting like what the average person in America is pro or against, right? Or rewriting like what polling shows. I do think when people live in different realities, I think it's fair to like distinguish them, right? But I think we're going to find a decent amount of like the average person who doesn't really understand the differences between like what would make somebody more left than center left, and I don't know. Like, I guess this goes back to like, I'm a little bit more, I think I'm a little bit more sympathetic towards like people like Zoran, just because I know the background that he's coming from. But yeah, I do think that there's an issue when you've got like, historical revisionist socialists, right? And historical revisionist like communists,
my big, here's kind of my thought process on this. I don't care as much about the left, far right labels. My big thing that I think is most important right now is to distinguish liberal versus illiberal. If you're a liberal,
fair enough, yeah,
I can work with you to
like pro-democracy, like what?
Right. Liberal meaning things like equality under the law, pro-democracy. There's a few things, right? Free trade, private property, respect for the individual rights, things like that, right?
Yeah,
we can go through the whole list, right? I'm sorry, Lilith.
Wick, I have to go soon, and so I'll drop this bomb and make you angry. I've heard Destiny recently say things like we might have to block, or he might be okay with restricting immigration from people if they have fundamentally anti-liberal or anti-democratic views from entering the country, which is technically illiberal. I know there's the paradox of tolerance. Would you be okay with this?
No.
Sorry, I tried to stir shit before I left. This isn't
the first time I've disagreed with Destiny, okay? And it won't be the last.
I'm just trying to stir shit.
Now, obviously, there's a threshold, but I know you got to go, so tell people where they can find you. Go ahead.
Yeah, the Soy Pill. You can find me at the Soy Pill. There's one more thing I wanted to say. No, well, there's this new Twitter account I saw called The Goy Pill, and he seems to have a lot of the same opinions as me.
Oh,
so if you go follow that one, maybe you'll get like a similar taste. But nice to talk to you.
First time talking to you, but I've watched your content for a while, and you did good work.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I like your tweets. So nice to meet you. Good to see you, Star. Good to see you, Hunter. I thought I had one more thing to say. Oh, it's probably in my chat. Anyway, thanks, guys. Bye.
Love you.
Bye.
Love you too. Guys, before I go, a couple updates. Where's the Lila Rose debate thing? I talked to her last night. I had like a brief little debate that I didn't prep for it all. I just wanted to yell at her. And that was fun. I'll probably watch it on stream, but it's not out yet. It wasn't live streamed, so there's a VOD coming later. I'm going to go edit a video after I watch the new Invincible. He can't keep getting away with it. And then, yeah, expect that in the next week or so. I'm just need to get the ad approved, and we'll also make the video nice and tidy. So thanks, guys, for watching. Thank you all for the super chats. Ben, Jesus Christ, dude. How do you have all this money? I actually want to know now. You have a secret investments you can tell us about? Let me read some of these chats though. Illiberal, restrict, Bioshock emote. Gotta play Bioshock. Yeah, go play it. It's awesome. Why is every Whick panel a Hasan panel? Yeah, I tried to avoid that. New Invincibles peak? Oh, you're edging me. I can't wait. Liberalism is what Ryan Getty says it is. Everyone else is wrong. Ryan, I trust you the most out of almost anyone in this space. You're so well read on it. Ben has been doing the oil futures. Fuck, I should have done that. Fuck. Stupid. Should have bought oil. Okay, yeah, guys, have a great weekend. I will not be streaming tomorrow, I don't think. I'm going to try to lock in and try to finish this video. Type 1 to end the deep state. Love you all. Have fun. Be